Hello folks, I'm Brendan McCurley, and in this how-to video, I'll show you how to fire. While collecting wood, you're going to want to find wood. There's different types of wood you can get for a fire. The rotten wood, if dry, will burn like paper. Wood that doesn't snap very easily and is really dense won't burn as fast, but it will still burn. Don't ever use green wood. Green wood, like from a tree that's just fallen or one that you've cut down for some reason, will not burn. Don't do it! It doesn't work. Unless you use a ton of fuel. Don't do that either. The best wood, it'll snap easily, but still, it'll snap like something that's crisp, like a cookie. Really crisp cookie. I know, it's a weird metaphor, I know. Really just go by feel. Depending on how hot the fire you want or how long it will last, will depend on what type of wood you get. Like I said, the rotten wood will burn like paper really fast. The thicker wood will burn slower but provide a steady heat. And the wood that snaps easily will get your fire really hot and going pretty good. Alright, let's go into more detail. As I said earlier on, any wood that doesn't snap, you really shouldn't use. As you can see, this wood doesn't snap, it just bends. So if you can't really snap the branches off of the wood, if you have to twist them off for whatever reason, don't use the wood. See, it's bending still, that means it's still green. It won't burn as well as the other wood will. Now the first wood that you'll want to collect is some small twigs and other debris that will easily catch. After this, you move up to your larger branches and eventually logs. However, I know what you're thinking. It's been raining all day here. Brendan McCurley, how do I find dry wood? Well, that's a key thing. You don't ever want to get wood that's been lying on the ground and is completely damp. You can go by feel here. Just feel the wood, look at the wood. If it looks damp, you will not be able to start the fire with that, but you might be able to use it later on. Now, let's go find out where to find wood that is dry after a rainstorm. Come with me. Alright folks, now, like I said before, if you want to find wood that is still dry after it's been damp out, this can go for dry times too. Look to the trees up high. Anything that's hanging like this branch, or dead wood that hasn't quite fallen all the way off yet, it's kind of been drip drying the whole time. It is probably more dry than most of the wood lying on the damp ground. Oh yes. Alright folks, the next step is actually putting all the wood together into a shape that can help support a fire. Now, the shape that I most like to use is a pyramid shape, or a triangle, but triangles are flat. So in this case, I'll call it a teepee. Yeah. Now, the teepee shape helps create a chimney effect, where all the branches, well, let's just say it gets the air circulating up to the bottom, out to the top a lot easier than just a pile of sticks on the ground that you throw a match on. That will not work. Eventually, this shape will collapse, but that's okay. This is just to get the fire started. And it works extremely well. The other shape you can do, if you want to get really complicated, is you can build almost like a Lincoln log cabin effect. Basically you build a box, but that takes a lot more time, I think, and this shape works just as well. Alrighty, now we just need to light the fire. There are a lot of different types of stuff you can use. Anything dry, really, small twigs. I usually use newspaper, but what I had this time around is paper bag. Really, if you're going camping or at home, you can just use whatever's flammable. Paper-wise usually works. If you don't have any of that, you can use a lot of small twigs together as long as they're dry. Anything really, dryer lint works well as well. Alright, now the sound you want to listen for, you'll hear a crackling at first. Once your fire gets going well, you'll hear a roaring sound, the roar of the fire. That's the air getting sucked up into the bottom and feeding all those coals and the starting fire and getting shot out the top. That's the sound you want to hear. Once you get that, that means you were successful, at least up till this point, trying to start your fire. As the fire burns, you can keep adding some other logs onto it, twigs. While it says infancy, don't try to blow on it very much. You might end up blowing coals out. Always start gently and work your way up to stronger breaths as you go, just to make sure that you don't do more harm than good. But usually when it's in this shape, it's already getting plenty of air at the bottom, so you don't really have to worry about that. Alright, I don't think you can really hear it on the camera. Right now we got the roar going. That means it's getting plenty of air, and that means a lot of the other items will catch. The bag has pretty much burned out. Right now it's going on its own. In the next part of the video, I'll show you how to stoke the fire and keep it going.